There's always a constant change in gardening. One thing I like to do every day, if possible, is just to come out and walk around and look at all the different flowers and trees and see what's changing, what's happening. Are any insects attacking them? Are they budding up and getting ready to flower, or have the flowers finished? There's a constant change that I enjoy observing. I've always been interested in gardening, different methods of propagating plants. I like to be able to take cuttings and produce many plants from one plant. I think it's mostly following in my mother and grandmother's footsteps. My grandmother had a rather extensive garden. She grew a lot of different vegetables and had several types of fruit and fruit trees and berry bushes. I was able to develop the interest at a very early age, and even now, when working in my garden, I feel like I'm close to them spiritually. And once we bought our house, that's when I started to get more seriously involved with growing things. I started with my vegetable garden, and as I continued with working in my garden, I found out about the Master Gardeners, and I thought that sounded like something I'd want to get involved with. I found my tribe when I joined the Master Gardeners because we're all very interested in gardening. We're required to take a class, which was like, in my case, it was about 11 to 12 weeks. And then after we pass the exam, we're required to put in a certain amount of volunteer hours. And after that time, then you are a certified Master Gardener. Our primary purpose is to educate people into the correct ways of gardening. I kind of specialize in something called winter sowing. That's how to start your seeds in the middle of winter. It's a lot of fun. It costs very little. Growing up on the east side, we weren't really aware of nurseries and places that we could go out and buy plants. So we started our things from seed. And I enjoy just teaching people how to do it. I like to set up an interactive class where people can come and actually do the planting, and sometimes after you've given a class, you may run into some of the same people and they'll come back and tell you how much what you taught them helped. I find that very rewarding. But I start all my vegetables from seed, and I like to start a lot of my perennials and herbs also from seed. I like science. I've always enjoyed science and biology. I think it influences my gardening in that researchers have found that there are certain bacteria and organisms in soil that have a very calming effect on people. Because I think people are doing a little bit more research into how therapeutic gardening can be. I've often thought of my garden as a laboratory, and maybe that's because I used to work in laboratories. That's the way I look at it. But yeah, I'm a mad scientist working in my laboratory, which is fine with me sometimes. I come out and work out my frustrations.